Meeting will come to order, please. Before we begin, I'd just like to welcome everybody to new old City Hall. It's been a long time coming. We're all very happy to be here. I'd like to take a second to thank all the people from the city who worked so hard on this. There was a lot of them. My sincerest thanks. And here we are, and just for information, sometime later in the spring, we're going to have a grand opening. We'll wait for the Historical Society to finish, and we'll have something. John wants to have drinks, and I said, okay, with me. So we'll move on from there.
Coffee and donuts.
Coffee and donuts. Well, that's a drink, right? The notice requirements of this Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting have been satisfied. Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Becker,
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo.
Here.
Commissioner Blumper.
Would you take a
He's
second?
absent, but for the record, Commissioner Blumberg is on a vacation with his family down in Florida. It was the only time he could go based on the fact that his daughters were off school till the 12th of January. So on the record, he's on a family vacation. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, John. Would you take a second to turn off all electronic equipment as we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Seeing as there are no special items to be discussed, we'll begin with department head reports, and we'll go to my right this time. Johanna, anything?
All is well in the clerk's office. We're ready for a new year, and that's all I have to report.
Thank you very much. Lisa?
Just want to let you know I've been busy closing out 2016, so we could get everything up and running for 2017. I should have the temporary budget input by the beginning of next week, and I'll let everybody know. Thank you for your patience with that. The only thing I want to point out is I emailed you some correspondence I had received the other day in regards to Storm Jonas, the snowstorm early last year, where basically FEMA made an error and dispersed funds to us that technically we were not eligible for in regards to the snow removal, because Atlantic County was not included in the declaration for that portion of the disaster. So I did receive confirmation from FEMA that because we were in compliance with everything and it was an error on their part, they are not going to seek reimbursement from us, which was over $50,000. And then, but he had told me, but the state may, and I was contacted by the state representative today. He's sending me the paperwork to close out the project, and he confirmed that the state will not be seeking reimbursement either. So we just got a bonus due to their mistake. Clerical error, shall we say. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Jim?
I'd like to congratulate the mayor for getting us in this building finally. We did push John Amadeo, the contractor, quite hard in getting this operation going. I know we were standing in this room about a year ago and it was freezing cold, and there was no way we thought this was ever going to happen, but it did come to fruition, which is nice. Fred, nice job with the American flag in the back for a flag salute. Thank you. Good job in getting this room together. I think that's great. And Frank's guys for getting over here and putting the stuff together. I mean, there's just a bunch of accolades all over the place with getting this stuff going. We had 2 demolitions so far this year, which this is the 5th of January. Never had 2 demolitions this early in the year, out of the 60 we had last year. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad sign for the economy, but it looks like it's really taken off. I think Roger's busy because the guys are calling us looking for their permits, and we don't know where they are, but apparently we sent out 5 new houses last week alone, so looking pretty good, Mike.
Good job, Jim. Thank you. Maureen?
We're,
This is a new building, we have a new reporting procedure, right? You have 5 minutes to
right.
fill.
I'd just like to say we're going to have our first court session on Monday. Fred gave us a demonstration of the sound system and the new video arraignment. We're looking forward to it. We think everything should go really well. Fred said he'll be here to help out. He was, of course, a huge help in getting this together, and I can't thank him enough.
Sure
If
you
I
can.
don't thank him, he will have a fit.
I
But
know.
everybody here did a great job in getting it together, and it's a little bit smaller, the seating thing, because of all our ADA compliance and stuff, but it's beautiful. I can't wait to host a meeting for the municipal division here to show it off. But we're looking forward to it. And if anybody's here on Monday at 1 o'clock and wants to just stop in, please do so.
Thank you, Marie. Roger?
Just to echo what Jim and Maureen said and Lisa about the building, it looks fantastic. I think one of the first meetings I attended here last year when I started here was in this cold, drafty room. And it's a little different now. Looks great. Nothing else to report. Thank you.
Roger, thank you. Ed?
I'm just going to go through my report and then talk about the building at the end. The municipal building playground improvements, as well as our beach bulkhead access for this year, those bids will be received on January 11th with the intent of, if the funds are available, awarding them at our next meeting. The 2015/16 state aid reconstruction of Winchester Avenue from Jerome to Granville. The pre-construction meeting was held on the 21st, and the contractor will be proceeding with construction the middle of this month, middle of January. Our 2015-16 road program was finally awarded, had the pre-con meeting on the 27th, and the contractor will begin work also in the middle of January. So we will see a flurry of activity on the roads that were not done by the gas company this year. The Gladstone Avenue water tank, as soon as the weather turns and we start to see warm weather this spring, they will paint the exterior. South Jersey Gas, they have, Kylie still has many services to do. They're having trouble getting people, getting access to the homes. We're going to schedule another meeting with them within the month just to get a status. And then once those services are complete, we'll have another meeting with them and their paving contractor to make sure that the paving goes as smooth as this previous job did, hopefully. City Hall repurposing. First of all, I want to thank Fred. The amount of work Fred put in on this building is unbelievable. I don't think anyone really realizes the technical, the expertise he lent and the amount of work he did getting all these wires connected and making sure everything operates. So I thank you, Fred, for your assistance in that. We did accept this building. CO was issued at the end of December. And what we would like to do at this point, I'd ask for a motion from the commissioners to authorize us to conduct a final systems inspection, building commissioning, that will permit us to release the performance bond and go to maintenance bond. But again, I want to reiterate, we did accept the building at the end of December. Now,
Do it here or at the next meeting?
We got, I do it at the next
Regular meeting?
regular
Yeah.
Can we make a motion here?
The business is at hand now. I think
Yes.
we should do it now. So I will entertain that motion to allow, to update our records according to what Mr. Wahlberg stated, that a CO has been issued as, the exact date was sometime in the 3rd or 4th week of December, Jim, am I correct? That we do have a CO and that we're looking in the near future to close out our records for this building and satisfy all the needs to convert to, from
performance to maintenance.
from a performance to a maintenance bond, thus being able to submit our final bills to the federal government for reimbursement and request what monies are due, et cetera, to close out this building.
I'll
That's my
second that
motion.
Mayor Becker?
Yes,
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
That's all I have.
thank you, Ed. Tony?
Mayor, I'm going to interrupt. I'll wait my turn to talk about other things. But while you're on that subject of this building, could you just give for the people that are here a very brief summary of the major things that we accomplished to meet the code requirements? And obviously, the reason why we did all this is because we had the flood, and so people are sitting there and say, well, what's going to happen next month when the rains come? So tell us what
Okay.
we've done.
As a result of Hurricane Sandy, the building sustained an inundation of water approximately 7 inches deep in the building. Previously, the structure had a wood frame floor. There was a crawl space. Twice so far since I've been involved in the city, we've had flooding in here where we've had to do mold remediation and replace flooring and such. Since the building was uninhabitable from Sandy, in order to put the building back into operation, there were several areas that had to be brought up to current codes. We had to bring it up to flood code, and one of those, actually there were a series of things that were done. First thing, we ripped out all the floors, we filled, poured concrete, did framing with metal studs, moisture resistant sheetrock, put floodgates, front and rear doors, and moved all the electrical as well as all the potable water that we could from below the floor to above the floor. So technically all this below the floor are some IT conduits as well as our sanitary sewer system. In addition, we had to bring this courtroom up to current code for Maureen's operation, which included moving various pieces of the building around. We had to make this room ADA accessible, which is a result that the smaller resident seating is as a result of that. We've had to make this area ADA accessible, the dais ADA accessible. We had to do the ramps up. We also had to change the entry configuration for the judge to be able to get in and out safely. The elevator was 30, 40 years old. That had to be brought up to current code. Our bathrooms were not ADA accessible. There were different access issues that needed to be front door, back door, stairway up to the second floor. All the lighting is high efficiency now. Most of it is LED lighting. The heating system, new boiler was installed. All the air conditioning units were replaced because they were at the end of their useful life and really didn't meet code for makeup air and current HVAC codes. So that, off the top of my head, that's just what was done. There were a myriad of other things done. We eliminated the old building, the old Historical Society building, because that was in bad shape. We increased our parking capacity, reconfigured that, the entrances, our sprinkler system, the landscaping had to be redone. That's about it. I could go on, but that's about it.
That's good, but it's important, I think, and I'm thank you for doing that, because sometimes we've taken it for granted, it's been so long, but for the record of the public, we have an historic building, we're gonna be able to use it for historic purposes. The whole first floor will be accessible to the public, there's no private offices on the first floor. So I think it's great for Margate. It's a centerpiece building in Margate, and it's going to be available to the public. So I think we should all be very proud of it, and the commissioners were very patient and working with us on this.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Rich. Tony?
I concur. It looks really great. Being here, I've seen everything going into it, the whole process, and appreciate it. That brings back a lot of memories being down here for a lot of years. Fire department's doing well, and beach patrol. And I mentioned the beach patrol because we were actually on duty last weekend on January 1st at the polar bear plunge. Actually, it was the fire department. We had a crew dressed in ice suits, rescue boards, just keeping a watch over all the beachgoers on January 1st, and everything worked out great. It was a good day. That's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Tony. John?
Mayor, I'm going to reserve my comments on the building when we have our celebration in the first week, hopefully, of April. But it is nice to be in a comfortable building, modernized.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
Are you in for the coffee and donuts or the whiskey?
Well, what I wanted to say is that as I look around and as I spent the last week, several days here, I feel that there's a few things still missing that we have to work on. And the one thing I think that's missing is, besides some pictures that should be on the wall that were in our old city annex, is that there is a clock that is missing. So I know my wife recommended that the Amadeo family donate the funds to purchase, oh, is she here? Donate the funds to purchase a clock for the courtroom. So Fred, I'm giving you the task to find a clock, allow me the number that it costs, and I will write a check and pay it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
And it'll have my picture in the middle of it, saying,
Cancel the clock. Rich, you have anything else? John, I'm sorry. Rich?
I'm going to defer on one item to the solicitor, who I think it may bring you up to date on where we stand with a shared service agreement with Ventnor for pump station maintenance, which follows the completion of the pump station, which was a joint project with Ventnor. So when it's his turn, he'll deal with that, I'm sure. I want to bring to the attention of the commissioners that there were letters sent out yesterday to approximately 35 utility owners with respect to excess water bills. We expect calls relative to that. You may get somebody say something to you. Be assured that our personnel will meet with them and go over whatever the problem is. If there is a problem, there may not be. There may just been excess water use. But we're on top of it, and it's being coordinated through our tax collection and water collection office with the assistance of Frank's crew. I would expect that at some point in the future, if there's adjustments that have to be made to those bills, we'll have a resolution before you and consolidate all of those at the same time. Also, at the next meeting, likely they will be asking you to authorize, next meeting the 19th of January, some bid, authorize us to go to bid for certain items. Among those are likely to be sewer system inspection, TV video inspection and maintenance, which we do annually, janitorial services, and likely some landscaping services as well. That's all I have, other than the item that Scott will speak to at his turn.
Thank you very much, Rich. Frank?
We've been very busy in Public Works. We anticipate some bad weather coming in tonight, laying around for the next few days. We did get all our trucks ready. We're ready to salt. Even if this storm decides to come up the coast, we'll be ready for it. We have plenty of trucks and plows and hundreds of tons of salt. That's all I have.
Thank you, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Scott?
A number of things. Yes, I'll deal with the Ventnor and Margate stormwater pump station. As you know, that job has been completed through the efforts of our City Administrator Dini and the City Administrator for Ventnor, Maria Mento, and other professionals. They finally have negotiated, I believe we're in a final form, an interlocal agreement with Ventnor, which provides for the sharing of the expenditure of running and maintaining the pump station. The details are such that we are going to pay Ventnor approximately $1,000 a year plus 50% of the electric costs on there. Of course, when there are repairs, we will share those repairs with them. Breaks down to about 35% Margate share, which is based on the area of coverage that this pump will eliminate stormwater. 35% of it's Margate's, 65% is Ventnor's. This was a joint effort through the County Municipal Utilities Authority, the City of Ventnor, and the City of Margate, and the county, and the Atlantic County as well, County MUA and the county. And it's a great example of how when different governing bodies work together, you can come up with a good result. I also have to commend Commissioner Amadeo. I don't know, did you actually get down there and run equipment to build this? No, I'm only kidding. But I know he took a heavy hand involved with it too. And I'm very proud of it. And from what I understand from people in that end of town, it helps a lot because it pumps that water out very quickly and helps it drain off. So that's a good thing. Okay, the next good thing. We've had a lawsuit, I'm sure you're aware of it, with our beach patrol. We won on a summary judgment through the excellent work of Michael Barker, who I just can't commend him enough. I think he's one of the best lawyers in the area. He represented our interests. Of course, there'll be an appeal, but we've won at the first go-around, the first legal battle at Superior Court level. And again, we were being sued for an incident that occurred on the beach, and it's good to win these things. So we'll see where that goes with the appellate court. You'll see on tonight's agenda that we are final reading of the ordinance having to do with Margate Terrace. As you know, Margate Terrace is a senior citizens and handicapped facility providing 75 units. We're in the process, and their lawyer through Jim Pira and the efforts of Fred Verna are refinancing and working a new arrangement with HUD. To that end, they had to renegotiate their long-term lease with the city of Margate, which we've done. There's also a tax abatement program involved. So the Margate Terrace is going to be around for a long time. And I believe with the refinancing, they'll continue to maintain that building. It's a very well-maintained facility and will continue to be so. So I would ask you, of course, to adopt final reading tonight on the ordinance. And as a part of our ongoing policy, we want to memorialize actions and decisions for everything. And on this one, it's so important to the city. We have a resolution, number 17 of 2017, which will authorize the mayor on behalf of the city to sign that lease, sign that tax abatement, discharge the old lease. Of course, this is all contingent on when they go to settlement with HUD, but I understand that will be very shortly, maybe within a matter of weeks, hopefully. I'd also like to point out that we are this year memorializing the selection of various attorneys that represent the city. We're reappointing Joseph Saig, as you'll see under resolution number 5. I think Joe Saig has been a prosecutor in this town, John, for what, 30 years?
Since 82 or
82. He's probably one of the best prosecutors in New Jersey for municipal work. We also have our conflicts prosecutor will be Carl Trippishin, which I would, of course, all of these I urge you to adopt. I think you're in his favor. Jim Swift, who's a local fellow, lives here in Margate, is our public defender. Conflicts public defender will be Darren Lord, if you so choose to adopt these resolutions. Other than that, is there anything else? No, I think that's it. That's basically it.
Thank you, Scott. It's good, pleasant for me to be here talking about two of the probably projects that took the longest that I know to get done, well, since I've been in the city of Margate anyhow. Number one is the pump station, which is the only one that tops this building. So we've got two things that are behind us now, both very well done and very successful. So that's a good thing. At this point, we will open for public comment.
You forgot.
Oh.
Fred.
Fred, I thought that you would be somewhere more.
what department are you?
Come on, Fred. Come on.
I just have a few things to say. Number one, Scott is correct about the Margate Terrace. A lot of work went into it, and I appreciate all the help he gave us, and I appreciate the city's help also in everything that we're doing for the Margate Terrace. We have a lot of good residents there, and I'd like to keep that building running as smoothly and as efficiently as we can, and keeping those residents happy. So I do appreciate all the hard work that went into helping us with the land lease and the tax abatement program. The other thing that happened here tonight, you know, everybody's thanking me for all the work that I did here and all this. You know, I just want everybody to know, in the public and the commission, the group of department heads that we have here are second to none. We all work together. We all know what the end result's supposed to be, and we all work hard at what we have to do to get it done. And so, no matter if it's me or if it's Jimmy or Tony or Frank, we all work together to get done what needs to be done, first class, first rate, for this town. And so, as much as I appreciate all the accolades, I'm just a small part in everything that happens here. So it's important for everyone to know Margate City is second to none, and I don't care what county you look at. And I do thank everyone.
Thank you, Fred. Can I open for public comment now?
Michael, you can have the meeting back.
Thank you. We'll open for public comment, 3 minutes on any subject that was discussed here today.
Oh, I can't wait.
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Following up on the comments of Jim Galantino concerning the demolitions and the pace upon which we are realizing them, I think it's very important, Mayor, that we have a resolution, a New Year's resolution, that there be a demolition dividend to the property taxpayers. If we go to the finance minister's number of $35 million and we extrapolate that over the past 10 years and the tax year 2017, you'll see that it's close to $1/3 billion in ratables. And yet not 1 mil of reduction has been realized by the property taxpayer. Now, if you want to make this a family-friendly town with affordable housing, a large component of affordable housing is their monthly mortgage payment. And part of that monthly mortgage payment is the built-in property taxes. And with property taxes sharply rising on the county level due to the collapse of the casino industry, and Atlantic County having the infamous distinction of having the highest foreclosure rate in the entire nation, something must be done. And I think it's very important to let the taxpayers know that if we're going to have dramatically increased tax ratables in this town, that a portion of it be returned to the taxpayers. It is only right, it is only just, it is only fair, and it'll make your children and grandchildren able to reside in this town by keeping the taxes affordable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Is there anyone else? Public comment, last chance?
I didn't come here not to talk. First of all, I'd like to say that the room looks great.
Name and address, please.
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner Avenue. The room looks great. Really very tastefully done, very well done. I'm a little concerned, are there going to be enough seats here? Has there been thought given to that? Because I remember when this place was full and there was 3 or 4 more rows of seats at least. Do you think there'll be enough seats? Anybody?
To be determined, Steve, we really don't
Okay.
know. We have, I think, 53 now. It's sort of limited by the space that was left
Right,
after
right.
all the accommodations that we had to do. If not, we have to move.
It's one for you.
As long as I have a seat, I guess I don't care. It's the kind of person I am.
We'll reserve one.
I'd like to agree with John Sewell regarding the taxes. I think it's really important to try to lower the taxes going forward with less residents here, and to make this resort as affordable as it can be to the local residents, and also to the people that choose to invest $1 million, $2 million in homes here. And a lot of these people that have a lot of money are very conscious of the taxes that they're paying. That's why they live in Longport, because the taxes are so low. And that's one of the reasons why Margate is doing very well as far as attracting people to come here. And I'd like to see them continue to want to come here and spend money and invest money in this city. And I think the lower the taxes are, the better. And I think that this year, maybe we can finally, get into that, the biggest waster of taxes, in my opinion, in the city, which is the schools, and maybe get that knocked down for the, in the future, to make this the best city in the Jersey coast, hopefully, which I think it is. And that's all. And like I said, again, it's taken a long time, but it really does look great in here. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Steve Altman, 9003 Amherst Avenue, Margate. The last time we were all gathered together before the new year, and I wish you all a happy and healthy new year for you and your families. I asked or made comments about having public access to the bay, since it looks like we're going forward with dredging, which is going to be a substantial expense. I'd like to ask you folks to please comment on the possibility of using Margate space, like around Washington Avenue, to create something going forward that would allow small boaters to put their boats into the bay, and rather than just having a pier that people can walk on. Is there a possibility that if we're going to be paying for dredging going forward, that those of us who don't live on the bay can somehow have access?
Steve, we really haven't had a chance to talk about that since last time. Something that will be on the agenda, and at some point in the future we'll talk about it. Yeah, and we talked about this before. There's access down by the Amberti, so you do have access there.
Yeah, but it's not really
If in the middle of the snowstorm tonight you want to go kayaking or something.
Are you joining me, Mayor?
No.
Okay. But that really isn't access. I mean, you can get down to the water's level, but if you were walking with a kayak over your shoulder to get down there, it would be much easier. Or if you had a small sailboat that you wanted to put in the water, something more like a ramp with a low floating dock would be more appropriate to get into the bay. And there are so many of us who don't live on the bay that would love to have access. So
we will discuss that as in the future we start discussing the renovation of that whole area. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
You're quite welcome. Anyone else? Motion to close public comment.
I'll entertain that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Is there a motion? I'm going to keep you busy, John. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that, please.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Thank you all. We will reconvene in 5 minutes or so.